Welcome friends. Today we'll be learning about motion and types of motion. So in our day-to-day lives we see many objects moving and some of those motions are represented in these images. In first image you can see a boy is playing with a football and the ball moves in a inclined direction. In second image you can see a spinning top rotating around a axis. In third image you see a boy is playing with a cricket ball. He throws ball in upward direction. In fourth image you can see a aeroplane is flying in the air. So when the aeroplane is in the air, it generally moves in a straight line. And in last image you can see a potter is making earthen products. So in olden days there were a lot of potters because people used to have these type of earthen products or earthen cookwares in their homes. So there were a lot of potters in olden days, but these days very few people use these types of products. So that's why they have stopped, many potters have stopped making these types of products. So how these objects are made: the potter has one rotating wheel and the clay is placed on the central part of the wheel, and as the wheel moves the potter shapes that clay into a useful object, and later on that object is dried in sunlight and in a furnace, and after some finishing touch that will be ready for use. So another type of motion we see in our day-to-day lives is whenever we are traveling by bus or train, the trees along the road or the trees along the route are appear to be moving in a backward direction. In reality those trees are stationary, but while we are traveling these trees are appear to be moving in a backward direction. So let's see different types of motions. First is a linear motion. A train or a moving vehicle on a road may travel in a straight line or in the same direction. The motion of an object is called this motion of an object is called linear motion. So train or vehicle may travel in a straight line or in the same direction. Okay, so this motion of an object is called linear motion. The vehicle or an object has to travel in a straight line or in the same direction, then only that motion will be called as linear motion. An object in linear motion shows displacement along a straight line. The object is moving in a straight line, that's why the displacement is also along the straight line. What is displacement? If object is at position A and it moves to a position B, then we can say the displacement of that object will be this much. Okay, you can say denote that by letter D. So here one question is asked: if you stand on a chair and release a ball from your hand, it falls to the floor. What do you conclude from this? So the ball moves towards the floor because of the gravitational force of the earth. Okay, that is the reason behind the downward motion of that ball. Now here two examples are given. One is soldiers parade and second is a girl is coming down a slide. So you have been asked to compare these two examples. In first example you might have seen this type of parade on Independence Day. So in generally the soldiers move in uniform speed. During the parade the soldiers move in uniform speed. There is slight there is not even a slight difference is seen in their motion. The motion of soldiers in parade is same, but in case of this girl who is moving down the slide, the speed keeps on increasing in in inclined direction, in this direction. Okay, so the motion of marching soldiers is uniform linear motion. The motion of marching soldiers is uniform linear motion because in this motion no change is seen. The soldiers keep the same speed during this parade. You don't see one soldier moving forward, one is moving slow. No, they move in uniform speed, or they keep with their fellow soldiers and they move in constant, or their motion is generally same. Okay, every soldier moves in same way. The motion of marching soldiers is uniform linear motion because in this motion no change is seen. Now, on the other hand, the motion of the girl coming down the slide is non-uniform linear motion because the speed keeps on increasing in this direction. So this will be called non-uniform linear motion because the motion is in straight line but it is non-uniform. So this will be non-uniform linear motion. Now let's see the definition: uniform linear motion and non-uniform linear motion. When the distance traversed by an object along a straight line in unit time is continuously the same, the motion is called uniform linear motion. So here two things are said in this definition: the distance traversed by an object along a straight line in unit time. Suppose is continuously, it has to be continuously same. Suppose in half an hour the distance covered or distance traversed by an object is 1 kilometer. In half an hour the distance covered will be 1 kilometer. So if you again measure the distance traveled in next half an hour, it should be again 1 kilometer because it has to be continuously the same in unit time. Unit time means if you are measuring for per second or per hour or per minute, so that will be called as uniform linear motion. And what is non-uniform linear motion? When the distance traversed by an object along a straight line in unit time keeps on changing, the motion is called non-uniform linear motion. If one object travels in this direction, in half an hour the object travels 1 kilometer, but in next half an hour it travels, let's say, approximately 2 kilometers. So the motion or the distance traveled by this object along a straight line in unit time keeps on changing. It is not continuously same, it keeps on changing in unit time. So that's why this motion is called non-uniform linear motion. Now let's see what is non-linear motion. What is meant by non-linear motion? Here in this example you can see one girl is playing on a swing. The original position of that swing will be this one, and the swing moves from one end to the other end like this. Okay, so the motion of an object that does not move in a straight line is called as non-linear motion. The motion is not along a straight line. This swing is not moving in a straight line, so this is called as non-linear motion. Non-linear motion may be of following types. So what are the different types of non-linear motions we will be seeing now? What kind of a movement does a swing in park show? What is this type of motion? It is called as oscillatory motion. What is the definition? The swing always comes back from one end to the other end. It takes about the same time for each swing or oscillation. Suppose this during first oscillation, if it takes say 5 seconds, for second oscillation also it will take approximately 5 seconds only. Okay, there might be some other factors affecting its motion, but generally it might take same amount of time. So this movement of a swing is called as oscillatory motion. Similarly, in the case of swing also, if you stop applying force for its movement, then it might come to a stationary position also. Gradually it will reduce its movement from this to this to this, and at the end it will come to a stationary position. So the swing always comes back from one end to the other end. It takes about the same time for each swing or oscillation, and this movement of a swing is called as oscillatory motion. Similarly, the movement of a pendulum of a clock, the wings of a bird, and the needle of a sewing machine, the vibrating diaphragm of a tabla or drum are also examples of oscillatory motion. So here 4-5 examples of oscillatory motions are given. Wings of a bird, this one is this can be easily remembered. Vibrating diaphragm of the tabla or drum, and movement of needle of a sewing machine, and last one is pendulum of a clock. What is pendulum of a clock? This that is shown in this image. This is called pendulum of a clock. This moves in this direction. So here few more points are given. The motion of a body that is oscillating, that is swinging back and forth, is called oscillatory motion. Now here few more examples are given. First one is pendulum of a clock, then one giant wheel is moving. This is merry-go-round is moving in circular path. This one is called wind vane. What is wind vane? It shows the direction of wind. If suppose the direction of wind is in this direction, then the arrow of the wind vane or the head of the bird or that weathercock will be in the direction of the wind. And in last image you can see the fan is also moving in the circular path.